Welcome back to Wormhole Extremists. I am joined with by Nicole.
Hello.
And Yvie.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Good day. Yeah,
Good day, mate.
For a second there, I was like, I don't think the volume settings are right while I'm trying to speak. And it's like, no, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. How you guys?
We're just waiting.
You guys ready for absolute power and the light?
Isn't it the light first?
As much as I can be.
I think it's absolute power is first.
Is it?
Absolute power is first.
Whew. Okay. It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, I'm wrong.
Really?
So
The light is second.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
I'm
do I
pretty
like
sure.
that? I want to end on absolute power because at least it's a better time.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yay.
I actually might like the light more than I like absolute power. We'll see.
Really?
I really don't know how I feel about these.
Okay.
I
I
love
Okay.
absolute
interesting.
power.
I
I think
like the little
Absolute
gun.
Power is a pretty good episode, but yeah, we'll jump into that when we start watching them.
I'd love to own
Yeah.
an AG3 for this assortment behind me here. I'd love to have a nice big one. So we'll have to see. I've got the original artwork for that. It's tucked away somewhere.
Oh, do you?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yep.
That is very cool.
So Adam has created artwork for us. You guys have the email?
Yeah.
I do have the email.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready to pull it up. We're going to look at
I
absolute
am-
power first.
Ready.
Yep.
So when Evie's ready.
when you are.
All right, let's pull it. Let's have a look.
I love that this is
Oh.
more accurate than that baby we saw.
With blue
baby?
eyes, yeah.
Yeah, with the
Aw.
white baby with blue eyes, that always really bothers
Well, it
me.
looks like a child of Apophis.
It
It
does.
does. It's kind of giving off Harry Potter vibes.
It does. It's like a
Yeah.
Patronus, and he's wearing like school uniform almost.
Yeah, but the what would you call it? Like the white light,
Mhm.
it does
Yeah.
look very much like an ancient
Very
being.
ascended
He did a
power.
good
It
job.
does,
He's
yeah.
utilizing the
Yeah.
ascended power there. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
really cool. So, yeah, I mean, I was always surprised that in the scene that we have later on in the alternate timeline where Shifu is still wearing his Buddhist getup.
Yes.
And it's like, no, he would be wearing I would suspect he would be wearing a school uniform. He's getting ready to go off to private school.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, you
this
think school
works.
uniform's a private school thing where you are?
Well, why not?
That's cute. Yeah, no, in the UK, it's school uniform everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same with Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Public schools don't have school
It's a lot
uniforms.
easier to watch the kids, especially on a school trip, if they're all wearing uniforms.
Of course, yeah, because they're
Yeah,
walking around in
that's
the
true.
same thing.
Yeah. It's a lot harder to track them when they just look like everyone else, you know?
You guys ready to look at the light?
Yeah.
Yes.
A
Oh
different
God,
light, I
wait,
guess?
am I though?
All right, let's have a look.
Oh,
That is the most rainbow hippie
that
light
is
I've
so
ever seen.
psychedelic.
It is trippy.
It looks like a Roswell Grey
Tie-dye.
almost in the middle
Yeah,
that they're
like
like
an alien, like
worshipping.
worship me.
It does.
Yeah.
Like this is what they should have had on all the planets when they were doing the Asgard tests for people's worthiness in the Horde of Might or whatever. Not that.
Actually, I just noticed that it's the same colors as my dress.
Evie's
What?
accidentally. Are you sure you didn't get a peek of Adam's stuff earlier?
I'm matchy with the light.
Oh, that's
I'm not gonna lie,
funny.
David. I'm thinking about 200, and that laugh was very like puppet Teal'c laugh from 200.
Puppet Teal'c.
He sounded like puppet
That's
Teal'c.
funny.
Just evil.
Yeah, this
just
is really
looking for the
cool,
strings.
Adam.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
I could see myself being
That-
trapped at looking
the
at
light
this.
is
Imagine it
really
I
fluctuating.
would
hard
be
to do.
transfixed by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a very
for sure.
hard one to do. I think the Shifu one was a bit easier to do because obviously it's a young guy who's like learning magic
Yeah.
and stuff, well, essentially.
Mhm.
But this one is just definitely like, what do you even put into the system for
Well,
that for the AI to
and
do?
half of it is the movements and the fluctuation of the light. So if you,
Yeah,
if you
it's really-
take a still shot of it, it's not the same
same.
kind of
Yep.
awe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's one of the cooler aspects of the show, and I'm not surprised that they won awards for it. So yeah, very cool. Adam.
Speaking of beautiful images,
Uh-oh.
should we play a brief game of Evie?
Bad example.
Yeah, bad
Is Yvie the
example.
game-
She wants me to
is the
say
name of
it.
the
She wants me to
I,
say
I
it with
love
my
the
accent.
Australian inflection.
So
It makes
what is
me
it,
really
Yvie?
happy.
Bad example.
Yeah, bad example. Love it. Okay,
All right.
I've got word cues here, and feel free to make some guesses. I'm gonna give everyone like a minute and a half, but you two obviously don't say anything till I
Well, of
say.
course, yeah.
Right, there we go. If you need help, it says, "Where is it?" And how is this better?
Oh, I know what this is.
That the clues are in the images.
Yeah.
Especially Daniel and especially Teal'c. I think this is a pretty good drawing, by the way.
It is a really good drawing.
I've done a
not
good
bad.
bad job. So, this is the biggest clue right there.
Yeah.
That Teal'c is pointing at.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there's only a handful of episodes where Teal'c probably doesn't have a pouch.
Well, the better
Mhm.
was the clue for me.
Yeah.
The best one was, and I'm trying to think, it's the one where he's a firefighter, and I can't
Anthony
remember
got
the
it.
name of it.
That is what Jeff thought it was. He was like, "Is this
Oh,
a firefighter?"
really?
And I was like, "Nope, nope."
No.
Anthony and Lockwatcher have it. Evie, don't
Yeah.
look at the chat. Yeah, Angela and Victoria. Good job, guys. Yeah, I guess so.
Let me say this. I'm just gonna ask this one more time. Better how?
We've already seen it, Evie. The long hair is the clue.
We're gone.
Okay, better how?
I'll let this go another
Uh-huh.
20 seconds so we can get started.
No, she'll find it. The thing that I would have done is I would have taken my finger and gone through the shirts in the direction where their shirts were, where their shirts had the line through them, because they all had different lines.
I realized they were all long sleeved, and I was like, can't be asked for that.
Yeah.
Their arms. Are,
Oh,
like,
okay.
immediately-
Better.
No, I
How?
can't think.
I have made you all better.
Oh, what, Tin Man?
She got it.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Well done,
It's the
Anthony.
accent. I needed
It's one
the
of the-
inflection on better.
It's one of the only ones where he has a belly button. So he's like, my symbiote is gone. And I put Jack the better thing just because I was like, well, what else can I do to give you a clue? And Daniel having long hair means it's season 1 or 2. So I was just
Yeah,
like,
because
well.
Tilt never says like
Yeah,
where
I was
is
trying
it.
to figure
So-
out what's
Yeah.
with the hair.
But that was really
Yeah.
good. That's really good, Nicole.
Good job. Love
Thank you.
it.
Took me 2 minutes. I sat there and I was getting stressed about it. So
Shimmering Victoria, Tom Man.
Tin oops.
That's funny.
Better. I was thinking the Freaky Friday episode. Come try ya.
Come try ya.
That was
It's
too
like
much of a clue. So I didn't
Shalom.
want to do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh dear.
All right, well done.
I'm glad everyone got it. Yay.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
I need
everyone
to
was a
make
lot
one.
quicker
I've
than
been,
me.
I've been percolating.
That's okay.
With some
Percolating?
ideas.
Oh, okay.
Percolating.
Like is the fun
Percolating.
percolating?
Like ideas are percolating.
Yeah, so I'm making a bad joke. It's an Alan Wake thing where like there's a theme park called Coffee World, and it's like where the fun is percolating, and there's a ride called Percolating, and, like it spins, and there's like coffee cups and stuff, and it's very silly.
In
So-
Alan Wake, you can
in
actually
Alan
visit
Wake
this.
too. You can go into the theme
Oh, that's
park.
cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I
funny.
would go there.
Very
I
funny.
love caffeine.
Right,
Yeah.
let me pull up my episode.
It's very
here as
Twin
well.
Peaks based, so anytime they can have coffee, they put it in, and diners
Coffee
is
and
very
a
the
cherry
vibe.
pie.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
I don't like either of those, but I love the show. So,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a good old cup of joe.
Yep.
I have
Alright.
never tried cherry pie.
No, it's
But
fine.
if it tastes like artificial cherries, I don't like artificial cherries, so I'd
No,
hate it.
no.
But if
That's
it
a
tastes
fair
like
point.
fresh cherries, I'd like it. 'Cause
I
love
went to
fresh
IHOP and
cherries.
had those like canned strawberries, and they were not for me.
You guys ready to go
ew.
on the on the
Yes.
episode? I've got it here.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch
I'm
Absolute Power,
almost-
everyone.
Yeah, watch the right
almost
episode,
ready.
guys. Don't
Yes.
do what certain people did the other week.
Okay. Yeah, ready when you
Forgot
are.
all about that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolute Power. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3. We're back on Abydos. You're watching Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Yvie
Hello?
and Nicole.
Hello, hello.
And that was a Mastage head.
Yeah, love
okay.
that.
And this is the Richmond Sand Dunes once again.
Always at the dunes.
Always at the dunes.
And this is the last time we see him, isn't it?
It is
Yes.
the last time that we see Kasuf.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's his final appearance, which is sad.
I'm glad he reappears loads though. Like, not everyone gets to constantly reappear. from
from
especially
the
from the
original
film.
movie
So
as well. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I loved it when they could bring back characters from the film.
Yeah, but his presence will be missed.
Absolutely.
Actually,
This is an
speaking of
expensive often.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of Eric Avari, the upcoming bit with the sandstorm, does it remind anybody else of Imhotep Sandstorm in The Mummy? It looks exactly the
I
same.
was just
and,
talking
the Mummy
about that
came out,
today.
literally a year before this, I think.
Yeah.
And he was in that movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in 24 years.
I'm gonna
really?
rewatch
Yeah,
it next week with
Oh,
Faye.
it's one of my guilty pleasure movies.
Oh,
it's
it's up there with me for Van Helsing.
Yeah.
The Mummy and Van Helsing are on the same level for me. Except one's gothic and one's Egyptian.
So I see this and I'm expecting to see Brendan Fraser and John Hannah on a biplane.
Yeah. Well, nah, Daniel's got to go into the sand.
Yep.
I love it.
Kansas.
I would not love the amount of sand
calling.
going into my mouth
No,
right now.
exactly. Yeah. This is a pretty darn good effect.
It is.
It's decent. It is very decent.
I love Daniel's silly hat. He always wears a silly hat.
He pulls it off.
Yeah. Honestly, Michael Shanks can do anything and he pulls it off, so, I wish he would pull his outfit off, but that's not appropriate for television, so.
Uh-oh.
With Gene Deotta.
So, Shifu is played by Lane Gates. So this is his first and only Stargate appearance.
Yep.
And on IMDb, it lists around 9 acting credits for him between 97 and 2001. So I think he's moved away from
He's
the acting career.
He's in construction now.
He's in construction.
Uh-huh.
See, I did look him up and I saw something about construction, but I wasn't sure if that was him.
That is him. I've tried to get him on the show. We've talked a little bit. I just don't think he's that interested. So.
Oh, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
he was a child,
but he does
understand
the importance of the character to the franchise. So
he does such a good job.
So, yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff in the early episodes of Stargate that is just left behind, just because it goes through so many evolutions and changes.
So we also have a couple of other returning characters this episode. So we've got William DeVry as Aldwin.
Yes.
And Stephen Williams as well as General Vadreen.
Yep.
Woo!
And the title of this episode is derived from John Dalberg Acton's first Baron Acton's principle, which is power tends to corrupt. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely,
Great men are almost always bad men.
Yep.
Brilliant.
So easy to get swept away.
Yeah.
Gene Deotta said, Nicole, there's a movie that does that for you. Thank you, Gene Deotta. I will research that.
So when Daniel says he knows it's possible, he's referring to the events of Brief Candle in season 1.
Correct.
So Shifu was born in season 2, so he'd only be about 2.5 years old if it weren't for the nanites, which you find out about later.
Yep.
And Peter DeLuise said that this deal was included because a 2-year-old child would be too young to interact with other characters at this level of complexity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you wouldn't really expect him to be wandering around on his own at this point. So
yeah, I feel like they need to also wrap up a lot of this stuff. Again, because there's so many early seasons arcs, and obviously Apophis is gonna go bye end of this season.
Yep.
So it's they
had
a lot of stuff trying to do.
They had 5 seasons, planned out at this point, and so it's time to start wrapping some of these things up.
They're closing.
I'm really glad though, because there is a lot of stuff in the early seasons that was interesting, but it's just that they weren't doing anything with them. So I'm really glad they finally wrapped stuff up and at least we saw some conclusions come in.
Well, this is his last connection to Sharae.
Correct. Yeah.
So Daniel mentioned before the meaning of Shifu. So apparently Shifu, he says apparently Shifu means light, but it actually means master in Cantonese.
Really?
And it's commonly used to honor skilled professionals and martial arts instructors. It's similar to a sensei. And the correct word for light or bright is actually uwang, just for those who are curious.
Interesting. I love this line.
Oh my god,
the
it's like the comedic highlight of this episode.
Long wig.
It would be surprising to me if there weren't at least like 100 outtakes where this scene, like with everyone laughing, because Nadia's delivery is like literally it's wicked.
Absolutely.
Yvie,
Yeah,
did you write that in advance? I feel like you did.
Of course I did.
Jeez.
It was too perfect. Evie's timing was too good.
It's the dad joke.
Yeah. Jacob said they just won't let us forget Brief Candle.
I know. I know.
One of my favorites.
That's one of I know, it's one of Nicole's favorites. So
every time Jeff Golka watches an episode of Stargate and they start talking about nanites, he's like, Brief Candle. And I'm like, yes.
Kid did pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he did very good.
This is not an easy role to pull off.
No. I think just being a kid in science fiction is hard no matter what, because it's science fiction, you know?
You've been raised by a being that is thousands of years old.
Yeah, how do you act that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, mention Brief Candle again.
This is turning out to be my favorite episode.
Oh, so, God, I hope not.
So, Oma Desala likely disabled the nanites as Apophis would have little use for a minor as a host.
Yeah.
So she also gave him the power to become an energy being, and that sort of further safeguards him from Apophis's control.
Translation, she killed him.
Kind of, yeah. I guess you could look at it like that.
I kind of would have liked to see, like, you know, obviously Shifu's got ascended powers. I would like him and Daniel to have, like, had some, like, father, you know, adopted son kind of bond in the afterlife.
With the way that he talks, it would have been interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
But I think Shifu left him alone, if Daniel is to be, you know, believed. Have you seen any of these others?
Shifu has some very wiseness.
Everyone's on their own path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a minute ago Tilk theorized that all Goa'uld are born evil. So on one hand, this seems true with like characters like Tanith, who planned to betray Shinnok even as an immature symbiote.
Yeah.
But the Tok'ra, who share this inherited knowledge as well, choose to fight against the Goa'uld. So it kind of suggests that it's more than just genetics. It's like the harmful effects of the sarcophagus and sort of other influences that make them different.
Yep.
Yeah.
And evil queen bees. So, you know.
Well, Egeria made a conscious decision.
Yeah.
And
good babies.
You know, right. And then not use sarcophagi. So there's just a lot to do with that.
Yvie, could you crochet me an Egeria crochet, but like with the sack as well? Would that be like the craziest thing you've ever made?
It would be pretty high up there. Although I did make that that MacGyver doll that
that was intense,
like the nuclear bomb, like whatever it was. The that had that thing strapped to him.
The rocket thing, yeah.
The rocket thing, yeah.
As long as you crochet a bunch of little gold to go inside of it to
puff up
the sack.
Oh my god, yeah. So you could like remove it from the crocheted sack, and then you could like it'd be interactive.
Oh, you just went one step further. Jack in the bathtub with all the symbiotes, the shrimp floating around.
All right.
Oh my god.
So he's teaching some life lessons here.
Yes, he's way too wise for his years. I feel like Oma was like, "Hey, I'm going to speed up that teaching of yours."
Mm.
Tonight at battle. There you go. You lock it up and you keep it away.
I think my biggest issue with this episode, because I've already prefaced this with like I don't love this episode, is that I honestly don't believe Daniel could ever be capable of this.
Of what he does?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We kind of saw a little bit of it in season 1 when he was using the sarcophagi a lot.
When season
2,
season 2, sorry, he started to turn a little.
When you unlock gold power, you unlock it all. I got that in stereo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I genuinely can't see it. I think it's just obviously an interesting alternate, potentially bad future, but I could never imagine it.
I think
So,
you need to examine evil more.
yeah, I just can't.
So Shifu tells Daniel that he must release his burden. So this insight closely resembles Share's advice to Daniel in Forever and a Day.
Yeah.
So she encouraged him to forgive Tilg and overcome her death before seeking the Harcesis. Shifu just a second ago said, if the instrument is broken, the music will be sour. So in simple terms, he's basically warning Daniel that using harmful knowledge for good is impossible, and a good person cannot learn it without being corrupted.
Mm-hmm. Medical advances in our society have definitely been examples of using harmful knowledge for good. But we've, as a society, have to live with those consequences of knowing those things. Oh, here we go.
So in the world of academia, so the raised hand is generally such a benign gesture, but surely it would give Daniel PTSD by now.
Especially with a bit of light coming out just before. Yeah.
That's funny. And we fade to black. Now we're in the dream.
It's such a good transition, though, because like it literally takes you like 3/4 of the episode to realize that this is not like our reality.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of a part 2 to Forever and a Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Daniel retains the experiences, but the experiences that he has are not of consequence to the outer world. So.
What I find really interesting at the moment is that you guys are talking about this in a complimentary kind of way, while like to me, I'm just like, I'm hoping that I come out of this with a more stronger perspective. I'm hoping that you guys keep feeding me positives. So
that's one of the cool things about all of us watching some of the episodes that we're not the most fond of, unless we all hate it. And
to hear it from and watch it from a different perspective.
Yep.
Appreciate it on a different level.
Dear, oh dear.
Here we go. I think that the episode is a pretty evident sign of what's going to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it really rolls along. So this device is called an AG-3 drone.
Yep.
The artwork for it is pretty awesome.
It is very cool.
I like the pyramid theme always follows through, That
it does,
vibe.
doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It's cool tech,
So Sam basically said that liquid naquadah is unbelievable. So Sam has actually come across this liquid naquadah before, in a sense. So it's a substance that fuels the Goa'uld staff weapons and was mentioned by Major Carter and Dr. Carter in Point of View. And Jack green also stuff, used it to build his power device in the 5th race.
That was liquid naquadah?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
A version of it, yeah.
Interesting.
I find it very ironic that, like, the staff weapons have liquid naquadah, but they're not that powerful. But then you can convert that stuff in order to, like, dial the gate to another galaxy. And, like, that blows my mind. I think it's a good example of how the Goa'uld, like, have all this technology, but they don't, like, know how to fully utilize and take advantage of it because they're parasites who steal. They don't really create.
You notice the star maps on the walls?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool projections.
There's a lot of interesting lighting in this episode. I was just thinking, like, there's constantly like shadows. And
It's not real.
Stuff.
Well, it's all very deliberate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, like, shadows,
lights in his office are off.
Yeah, exactly. And shadows kind of have that sort of eerie, kind of like
they're foreboding.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like when Kylo Ren is like talking to Han Solo. And being like, I know what I have to do. I just don't have the power to do it. And then the lighting changes. It's got like red and blue on his face, and then suddenly it goes red a second before he does what we know he does. So
yeah, that's a little bit more obvious though.
Yes, but I really enjoy.
Everyone knows what the blue and the red mean.
Yeah, I really enjoy just watching the way that color can be used to do that. Like the way that
it can be very symbolic.
Yeah.
You notice what's happening here. Starting to push them around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And his glasses are gone. Oh, no, he still has his glasses. Never mind.
He's holding them, yeah.
But he's not needing them as much.
Yeah. He didn't like that. He was like,
So he just picked something at random.
You can
Rude.
go now.
Yeah, here we go.
I think Tilk understands now what it's like to be a diminishing resource.
Dear, oh dear.
Jeez. I think he eventually kills Teal'c in this episode on a mission, doesn't he?
Yeah. I was going to go into that later because that wasn't the original plan.
They're not going to work with the Toker on this.
Wow.
No, they cut out a lot of their so-called allies.
Well, because they were always being kind of quote unquote treated like crap by their allies and inferior.
Yeah,
so I guess this is them being a bit vengeful.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It hasn't really taken Daniel long for this power to poison him.
Well,
like he's
I think that's another
making
thing, but
demands
obviously
and
it's a 40-minute
dismissing
episode.
his friends. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think that's another gripe I probably had with this. Just that I just can't believe the pacing, I guess.
This is the argument that that Paul Davis uses on Daniel in 48 Hours. We don't know who the Russians are trading the technology and their secrets to.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that Daniel has it here. That it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
I wonder how much like they taxed people that year to get more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, as a U.S. taxpayer, I know.
I was gonna say. Did you notice a nicer like increase in your taxes in 2000 and 2000 around this time?
Would have been a he would have
Yeah,
been a
it was
child.
called the War on Terror.
Oh god, yeah.
So Daniel really made the transition from nerdy, unappreciated archaeologist to Mariah Carey like pretty quickly.
But look at what he's giving in return. So
that's
it's
the excuse that
arguably
he's using for his behavior too.
And here's a big thing right here. You need Naquit in your blood or you can't make it do anything. That's a big reveal.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So what I was going to say is that
Yvie,
Joseph
come on.
Malozzi mentioned Joseph Malozzi mentioned a cut scene from Absolute Power where Daniel has imprisoned Teal'c for experiments using his Naquita-rich blood to operate that hand device. And this dark twist was removed during scripting and editing. So
removed.
Yeah, it was a bit too dark.
Terrible.
So Daniel was using the hand device personally on him?
So my understanding was he was extracting blood from Teal'c to then give himself the power to operate like Gua'ul tech.
Wow.
And he had him like imprisoned in some sort of basement and was like running experiments on him. So I guess this suggests that Naquita in Jafar blood could power tools like the healing device. So while this scene ultimately didn't air in the end, a Jaffa priest was seen using devices in bloodlines, which kind of supports this concept.
Exactly. Oh, here we go. Boom!
Gene Diarra said with Teal'c, I like that they touch on the hidden resentment Daniel has. Yeah, I did feel there was like some underlying resentment with his Gouldness coming through.
Yep, exactly. I always watched that first reaction like Jack almost saw inside of his head what he just did to him. You know, the look on his face is like, okay.
Yeah, so Teal'c's like missing at this point, right? And
yeah, he's on a mission, quote unquote mission.
This is like too evil, too fast for me.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked this to be like a two-parter where we just watch Daniel go. Like, I feel like the commitment would have been way more shocking when they turned around and been like,
it is a lot. Yeah.
Here's a great cameo.
Jack
Yeah.
sort of likely found himself in a sort of similar predicament during the last episode 2010, where he was chosen, like he was given the choice of either complying or retiring. So it's not too dissimilar from that.
Yeah.
Good cameo.
I'm not gonna lie, Daniel's
Yeah.
Gould's pretty hot. Like him and Katesh could have had a great time. I'm always gonna ship.
1 year later.
It's like SpongeBob.
Is that what that's from?
Yes.
1 eternity later.
Oh, that's what that's from. Okay.
As far as I know. At least that's where I got it from.
And he's kind of become Seth here.
Yeah. His little cult.
In his
Yeah,
compound.
his compound.
Yeah.
Complete with rings.
So Daniel's mansion is the historic Highcroft Mansion in Vancouver. So it was constructed between 1909 and 1911.
Wow.
And since 1962, it has housed the University Women's Club of Vancouver. So this fact carries kind of a touch of irony, given that Daniel's recent disregard for Sam is pretty incredible. And she was a woman of considerable education. So...
Send her away. So I'm guessing this is the interior of the same building?
I feel like I've seen that, but the interior of that building
I don't
a
know
lot.
about that. It could be. It does certainly look like it's a very expansive set. Otherwise, it's very decorative.
Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Fruit Loops!
Did they get like a pass on being able to use it for the season? And they were like, let's bring it back.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but it would make sense.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what? We'll let you use Fruit Loops, but we want 2 episodes, not 1.
If he's watching TV, he's not wearing the monk outfit anymore. I'm sorry. He'd be normally in a... He'd be in regular kids' clothes at this point, I think.
I'd technically be wearing a SpongeBob SquarePants t-shirt right now.
Or you open his cupboard and it's just all the same monk outfit. Oh, he's gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
But what is with these alternate timeline gaslighting men? This is awful. I was telling my uncle actually the other day about 2010 and how much of a great episode it is, and I explained all the nuances about it, and he was actually very intrigued. That was fun.
He hasn't seen it?
He's seen some episodes, but he's never really had a desire to go through all 17 seasons. It's a lot, so... That's the problem with Stargate, is every time I'm like, watch it, it's 17 seasons. They're like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
Watching it week to week when it was streaming was definitely a lot easier. And by streaming, I mean airing live on television. Stupid Netflix has ruined everything.
Oh, boy.
Well.
They won't listen if you're in an institution.
I love that no matter what in these alternate timelines, Sam and Jack always have the, hey, let's have an honest conversation. Like, they always lean on each other in the end.
So when it's in someone's dream, you never break away from them. And I was like, if this isn't happening, then, then we can't be seeing the scene, except for the fact that he's watching them on closed circuit television.
Yes.
So
he is
there.
Yeah.
So as a blonde person, it's very difficult to pull off orange, but Sam is somehow making it work.
Amanda Tapping can pull anything off. It's actually upsetting. Yeah, he does, but yeah. So that's the thing. So I'm very
This
Jack
is pretty
on
extreme behavior.
It is so extreme. I think this is why I had trouble appreciating this episode, because I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't prove anything.
God.
Oh, jeez. So at this point, he's got Teal captured?
Yeah.
Wow. Good to know.
That is a very
But they think
twist.
he's dead. They think he's dead.
Well, of course, yeah, they think he's dead.
Yeah. Or they do talk about him as if he has passed away, as if Jack has seen his body. So maybe
Daniel
he experimented on him to the point where he died, and then he put his body somewhere else.
Yeah,
that's
for
true.
it to be discovered. Yeah.
So that's the first shot of his lab. We'll go back to that later.
Why is he like this?
Yeah, throws it in there.
The way he just stabs it back in. Yeah. I love the way that Daniel immediately puts on a smiling face and the good boy act in front of Jack, because Jack is so beautifully ignorant because he loves Daniel.
Well, also his day has come, so
yeah,
he's here for
and
the
like
big moment.
Sam's seen all his dark stuff and like knows the truth, so he's like, right, evil wench, get in your cell.
Jeez.
Is that today?
Is that today? Who knew?
Jean Diardi said, "Ah, the delicious pants of evil."
Yes, they are.
That's some damn good trousers.
The white pants.
Yeah. Or we could have ironed out the back a bit. There's a bit of a crinkle in there. Daniel, get your laundry department to do better.
He's been sitting in his throne. So.
In his evil
He
chair.
doesn't even trust him. Look at that. He doesn't even want to get close to him.
No, well...
I really wanted to be like, what do you know how to stand?
Yeah.
The Highcroft mansion is actually 3 stories high, so transport rings might not be such a bad idea. You know,
that
got
one
those
waiting.
bad knees, so...
Oh, goodness.
Oh, the lair.
Cool
So
space.
evil looking.
Yeah.
Is this a silly question, right?
Yeah.
Why does this look exactly like Magneto's room in X-Men?
Yeah,
Sorry, not Magneto, sorry,
Right.
Dr. X's room. Professor X's room in X-Men.
So,
that he built with Magneto.
Daniel just asked Jack what he thought of the room. So,
Yeah.
2 things for me come to mind. So, firstly, Shifu wouldn't stand a chance at winning hide and seek against Daniel.
No.
And secondly, if Daniel put aside his villain vibes, he'd throw the most amazing movie nights with this massive screen, surround sound, and comfy seating.
Legit.
Daniel's Cerebro.
Literally. So, like, it literally looks like Cerebro. Like, even the way the main table that you're sitting at comes out.
Well, it
and
came
the
out
room is
around the
very
same
round.
time.
And they're both shot in Vancouver.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
like,
Well, it's a good
imagine if they just got to borrow the set for a minute.
I mean, it's much smaller, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, Daniel just a second ago mentioned the odds of the launch being successful. So, speaking of success, one of the rockets shown is the Ariane 5, a launch vehicle operated by the European Space Agency. So, the Ariane 5 had a 95.7% success rate with 112 successes out of 117 launches.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that included 83 consecutive successful missions from April 03 to December 17. So
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty reliable.
yeah.
Wow.
So during a typical rocket launch sequence, 0 actually signifies liftoff, with engines igniting seconds before. However, when these rockets are launched, the engines start at 0 and liftoff follows several seconds later. So
That
it's
is
kind of
such
considered like a minor goof.
A
Interesting.
bizarre fact. That is, I never knew that. That is so
There you
wow.
go. So there's 12 of them launching? 12 rockets?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few.
Okay.
Getting like
Russia's
beachhead
gonna
PTSD.
freak out.
Yeah, I'd be arming the nukes.
Yeah.
They
Like,
do freak
already.
out.
Well,
Yeah.
here's technically a breakaway from Daniel's perspective. Interesting.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I look for these things. This guy always freaked me out.
Yeah,
He looks
it's
so-
the,
the way he
it's the
talks is very
lighting
sinister.
and it's
Yeah.
the face. Like
Target
he's just
has
so
been eliminated.
serious and he's like without emotion.
Pay the winners. Oh my goodness. People were betting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jack's like, I'm not.
2000.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that.
Jeez. Now we're ready for a Gould attack. But first,
Let's
we've got
wipe
some
out Russia.
earthbound housekeeping. Yeah.
Dear, oh dear. It's not good.
Yeah.
Well, Russia would be like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
So.
They are, but when you listen to it, it actually kind of sounds eerily familiar to what's going on at the moment.
It is disturbing that this episode of television is now like 24 years old. And we're still sitting here going, hey guys, we're still repeating all our mistakes. You know, humanity's still doing its thing.
What, you expected we'd learn, Nicole?
No, we never do.
We've been around for 150,000 years.
Yep.
You're talking 24. Oh boy.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. It's definitely in direct violation.
Yep. Relinquished immediately. So just hand it straight over. Manuals and all.
Yeah.
This is why we keep all the nukes in the basement and don't pull them out. We just it's like we just keep our threats just in the basement, just reminding everyone what we got, you know.
Oh boy. Yeah, because this is going to make them calm down so much when you take out one of their satellites.
Yeah.
They're like, okay.
Nope. Not good. Why is he so evil?
It's like he's plugged into the system.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe he's not human. Maybe he's an android.
Maybe not.
That was fast. Oh boy.
Proportional response.
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
Gecko Fett said it. Sometimes I wonder if that guy was actually the evil mastermind with all the close-up shots he gets.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't think the president has an opinion anymore. Doesn't get
he's kind of obsolete because
he's been
Daniel
iced
has
out.
this button. Yeah,
that big button there.
So Daniel is the puppet master.
Oh god, that guy is so into it. He's hoping to be Daniel's like vice president of the world.
Yeah, so he wasn't very highly monitored, was he?
No.
Bye.
Ciao. Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. But being a bad guy.
I never knew that Daniel had such a problem with the Russians.
That's the thing. I was thinking that because he's actually really nice and cooperative with them every time they kind of come in.
Right?
So.
Yeah.
And he speaks Russian.
Well, it kind of proves like just how hard he has to try to be nice to them. Maybe if like internally he's just like really hating them. So I love how like unfazed Daniel's staff are. Like they just barely blink. So do you think maybe they've run through a few emergency drills for situations like this?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but when you fire a gun in a closed room, it is loud and it hurts the ears. Like
maybe they're all wearing earplugs because they knew.
Maybe. And Jack. It's one of the things that frustrates me about television.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Well.
Targeting Moscow.
Yeah. So this theory is plausible.
Yes.
Given that Niriti planted a bomb in Cassandra to target Earth's Stargate and Singularity, and Apophis manipulated Tilk's son Ryak, equipping him with those toxic teeth.
They love using kids.
In family. Yeah.
Yeah, this could have been a different episode entirely.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
It's not, darling. It's not you.
That's not you.
I think my thing with this episode as well, it, like, you know, with the whole Daniel being so evil, is definitely like this is like a alternate scenario of like how, you know, power corrupts absolutely. And cool shot. I mean, but also terrible, devastating. We should never do this.
Thanks for covering that.
No, I just realized saying cool shot to like people getting wiped out. No, not cool.
I love how you backtrack so quickly.
I just don't even know what to do, you know. It's like Alderaan blowing up, right? It's a cool visual. But
then you think of like all of the people have lost their lives. Yeah.
Alderaan, cool shot, but we should never blow up Alderaan. Never. Alderaan's a great place. It's peaceful. They have no weapons. You couldn't possibly.
No, but I just can't believe Daniel being that bad. It was like, I think it was just an example of like how it can do that to good people, but I don't know. I never bought it the first time, I think.
Dreams teach. I'm teaching him.
Yeah. I think the way the episode is supposed to like make you believe that Daniel's going down this evil path, I think that's like what I never really sat well with. Oh, it's the hot Tok'ra!
Alduin.
I love this guy.
Yeah.
He's great. Doesn't he die when they attack next season? He like breaks his neck. Ugh, poor guy.
Ravana.
So sad. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, I don't know why they keep bringing in all these, you know, beautiful Tok'ra people, but like, it's a bit much. You know, first Garshaw, Anise, Martouf's pretty hot. This guy, all the other people come in. There are some damn fine people come in. Look, Jacob is like Sam's dad. I can't talk about him like that.
Well, it just proves that maybe the Tok'ra are just as superficial as the Greenwald.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. Ooh, adorable.
Yes, exactly.
Look how nice he's being. Like, he's being so like, hey, kid, it's okay. Don't worry. It's like, hey, this kid's smarter than you. You don't realize.
He's got quite a bit of knowledge up in there.
Yeah, big brain. Got like PTSD to the last time we did this.
I don't know why they're restraining him, though. It's not like he's going to turn into a Zaytark.
Zaytark, yeah.
No.
But I guess they don't know. So
yeah.
Many things.
Oh, dear. That's like the kind of answer that like Jack would give in some sort of interrogation thing, like in 1969.
Yes.
Most unhelpful answer.
Oh boy.
I feel like this was like Daniel's first like test run with Oma, where she was like, "Oh, he's a good boy."
So you could kind of view this episode as an important step in Daniel's path to ascension.
Yeah, 100%.
Very much so.
So Daniel's speedy recovery. So Daniel made a very quick recovery from his long nap, and presumably without coffee. So I typically require like a caffeinated kickstart and a solid half hour on social media before I can call my own name.
Yeah.
But he just bounces straight back.
He sure does.
Daniel's always ready to learn, you know? He was having a great time in there. Like, might have been a nightmare, but he learned so much in that dream.
Did.
Adorable.
Yeah, there's not much we can do about... Yeah, no, you're not going to extract much of anything now.
Yeah, you won't. If you merely know the candlelight is fire, the meal was cooked. Still don't know what it means.
No, nor do I.
Every time I hear it, I try to figure it out, and I'm like, oh, screw you. I feel like it's a chicken or the egg situation every time I hear it. I'm like, nope, there is no answer.
I love that line. All roads eventually lead to the great path.
Yeah. Cute. I like the music. The music's all like warm and fuzzy.
No, I think it's like kind of sad.
Yeah, but like in a nice warm way, like the enveloping hug of an ascended being, you know.
So the power to operate the dialing computer remotely without physical contact or being in the same room is a skill that Omar displayed in Maternal Instinct.
They have control of the gate.
Yeah, so she's taught him well.
So this is an extremely tricky visual effect to pull off.
I was going to say, I researched this.
So go ahead.
So the glowy visual effects were actually created using Rick Dean, who's the Stargate's chief lighting technician, not to be confused with RDA.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he used a special hat with like a mounted light. So in the scene just coming up where Shifu ascends the ramp, so Dean was wearing the special hat and walked through the shot to create believable shadows. And then in post-production, they digitally replaced that with the white glow.
Yep, exactly.
So this is just a grown man wearing a hat with a light. Takes away the magic. So a few like comments on this episode. So Joseph Malozzi praised Michael Shanks's performance and said that actors love to play bad guys, and in this episode, he delivers a terrific portrayal of Daniel gone dark side. And a Redditor summarized this episode perfectly by saying that it put a refreshing and engaging spin on the dream/vision trope, which only becomes apparent sort of halfway through the episode, and that it was well paced and offered a fascinating glimpse of a darker Daniel Jackson while justifying why the Harcesis's knowledge is unusable.
I mean, they always do that as well in order to the unusable thing, in order to not be able to like advance the show too much and stuff, which is a trope that I do get kind of sick of sometimes. But I get it.
Lockwatcher called out Peter's cameo. That was Peter DeLuise in the hall.
Yeah. Also, a Gecko Fett says, "Thanks for shattering that illusion, Yvie." Ruining his hopes and dreams.
See, I'm the kind of person who appreciates it more if I know how they did it. So
but it permanently changes your perspective on it, though. So as long as you're prepared to have that happen, you know, it's replaced with something else.
Don't pay attention to the man behind
with the light hat. Yeah.
I will say
the light hat. Yeah.
This part of everything wraps up, which is the whole Michael Shanks getting to play a darker character and stuff. I think that's part of like why he said he enjoyed working with Claudia Black so much, because he got to be a more like antagonized and pissed off Daniel instead of his bubbly personality.
I wanted to end this episode with one very important takeaway. It's better to have a big long wick.
Speaking from experience, I agree. That was absolute power. All right.
What an ending. Oh my goodness. What an ending. That alone praises this episode by Chevron. My goodness.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
David, I appreciate you. I loved that. Yvie, thank you for the setup.
That's what she did.
I was like, I need to make sure I cut Nicole off so I can get this in.
Yeah.
Now that's a volleyball tee up right there. Yeah. Point.
Crush that.
Right.
Point set.
All right, guys. What'd you think? Nicole, did you like it more having watched it with us?
I think I've seen it a total of like 2 or 3 times ever.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Me too.
I think you guys made me try to appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if I did. I don't know what my original rating would have been. I think it would have probably sat around a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I don't know. So circle back.
Okay.
Come on.
I
don't know. Like, we got to give our answers first, and then you'll calibrate yours. Come on.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll calibrate first.
Yes.
Never calibrate first.
Calibrate first.
I would probably say this episode an interesting time. Shifu is all right. Seeing Kasufa's nice. I like Daniel. I cannot get like, so the episode I feel like was supposed to kind of shock you that Daniel would be like this, and that it was so far an extreme of what Daniel was that I never got to a point where I watched it ever where I believed that Daniel actually followed this path. I think actually probably I would have said that before. I would have given this like a 2.5 back in the day. I think that it's like, I think I now respect what they were trying to do and why they were doing that. I just don't feel like any power could corrupt the Daniel Jackson we have now. Maybe in his younger days, but I'd say at this point he's solidified as the goodest boy in the universe. So I'm going with a 3 on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, I was going to say that it's definitely not my favorite episode, and I feel like I said that a lot. So I
Yvie loves Stargate. Not every episode's her favorite.
Can't like all of them. There's so many
No, it's a good point.
So I do like how they tackle a very difficult subject, like sort of what comes first, the power or the corruption. So I did like how they addressed it. I think Michael Shanks did a terrific job of playing evil Daniel. I think previously I probably would have given it like a 3, like Nicole said, but I think I'm appreciating it on a new level, having watched it with you guys and done some research into it, and I think I'm going to raise that to a 4.
Okay.
I'm glad we're in similar boats there, just because I don't like having. Don't you start, David? I can see the smirk appearing on your face. Yeah.
Nicole is glad, and I don't care.
No, it's just I appreciate, because I don't like I do have that thing where it's like I'm worried about being kind of left out, but at the same time I do value my own opinion on this. But I did think that you guys would go higher on this, so it's interesting and nice to see.
Boy, haven't heard
a similar boat.
Haven't heard.
That's
David's
what I'm
vote.
waiting.
Well, you thought that we would go higher on it because of how we spoke about the episode. So you gauged that based on our previous comments. So
yes, it's very.
I have always enjoyed this episode. As I watched it for the first time, I wasn't completely sold that it was actually happening, but kind of but more than not.
Yep.
I like who made the comment? Gene Diotta, 7 chevrons. I love Darkside Daniel and the pants. Well, sans pants, and not mean absence pants, but not including the pants.
I love sans pants.
I love the what ifs. One of the things that Stargate does better usually than Star Trek on the what if episodes is that it doesn't entirely hit the reset button. Someone retains the knowledge of the episode, so we can kind of feel like the experience of the episode wasn't just a waste. In Voyager, you had Year of Hell, which was amazing, and then no one remembers it. Another episode, a great episode, is called Course Oblivion, which is an amazing episode, and no one remembers it because it's not them.
It's why There But for the Grace of God is so incredible. Because Daniel goes back with the harrowing.
This episode is a 5 for me. It you have
3, 4, 5.
We see something explored that we've been wanting to explore from the very beginning, which is acquiring gold technology, like totally, completely, and fulfilling that potential. And oh crap, we didn't see this one coming.
That's a good point.
We're not strong enough to acquire this knowledge and hang on to it without absolutely destroying ourselves. And I think it's a great. I think it's a warning. I think that this episode is a warning, not just
I agree
in
with that.
universe, but also a warning to us
in life. Yeah.
And I think that I think that any of us, under the right circumstances, can be driven to do things that we would never believe are possible. That's one of the reasons that people who come back from war are in such abject misery, not because of what they saw, but because of what they couldn't believe that they were capable of doing.
Yeah.
And so I give it a 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was doing my research and I was having a look at some comments on Reddit about this episode. And somebody asked, like, do you believe that power corrupts absolutely, or that power attracts the corruptible?
I think
Thought
both.
was, yeah.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
So basically, like, yeah, is Daniel corrupted by the power, or was he kind of a little bit corrupt to begin with? So it's an interesting question.
If you believe that you are
yeah.
right and that they are wrong, what won't you do to force them to change?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nicole.
It just making me think about how cancel culture is just like running rampant at the moment. Of just like, you know, if people won't change their opinions, then you just got to like kick them out of life, and you know, just like
they must be destroyed. We
can't
don't give them
silence
attention.
people's opinions.
They don't get to be forgiven.
Yeah, no, it's a tough world we live in. I was just thinking about how I'm sick and tired of getting hit over the head. I think that's another reason why this episode irks me, with the whole idea of the very young Denoros do as they're told and all that. Go, oh, we can't give you all the stuff because from the Tolans, because you're going to corrupt yourselves and kill each other, and that's what you do. And it's like, oh, Daniel, you're just doing what we've told you you were going to do all along. But like Daniel's the one goodest boy, the Nox and the Tolans, who they're always telling Daniel he's the goodest boy in the universe, and that he's the only one they trust. So seeing the goodest boy in the universe go down the dark path, it's very interesting having that happen, but I just cannot believe it. It just does not work for me.
Go read the Gulag Archipelago and get back to me.
Okay.
Okay.
I also saw a hilarious comment, so I just want to make sure I get it in. Lockwatcher said, if the microwave went off too early, the tater tots would not be cooked.
Who said that?
Lockwatcher. He said it about 5 minutes ago, and I was like, I've got to say it when you guys finish. So I've got to remember where it is. Ooh, that was good. Okay, right. So I'm gonna go through the ratings of everything.
That was really funny.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was funny.
It's a 5 from me, says Anthony. Gekafet says 4. Mac Boland's conscience says 6. Jean Diada, the 7. Chevrons, Love Darkside Daniel, and the pants. Jean Diada said, we've seen a lot of glimpses of Dark Daniel. Seeing the extreme level did not surprise me. Lockwatcher, this episode is 4 for me. Watched it first run and figured it out way too early. Daniel just isn't that dark, thank you. Further evidenced by Janet not using her little
Janet not using her what?
Janet not using her flashlight.
Oh,
putting up the flashlight thing. It's like he always drops and raises things based on the flashlight. Brilliant. Jed Ted 7. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm loving the love for this episode. I'm glad that it hit well for people. Shivering Victoria 4 from me. I don't watch it often. I do appreciate all the close-ups on Daniel / Michael's beautiful face. I do sometimes wonder what Dream, Janet, and Hammond are doing. Yeah. Jacob, I find this one difficult to engage with, and I do not enjoy the spin on Daniel, but the show asks some poignant questions about power and corruption. Yes, I agree. And therefore, 4 chevrons. Mac Boland said, this is a fun episode with good morals. Yep. Well, good moral story. Becca, the first 3. Becca, I can usually rely on Becca to agree with me. Shut up, David. 3, I like parts of it, but it's just a bit too unbelievable that Daniel could be that bad. Sorry, every time I say that Becca and I have like a similar thing, I think it's like 15 times now. You've been like, why does it matter, Nicole? Why does it matter? So I'm just, I'm gonna get a compilation of that and like make it a video. Yeah,
we need to have one day a discussion on the nature of conformity.
Yeah, and somebody called Ahmed has come in and said, "Hey, Nicole, hello, you look new." Oh,
Ahmed Abdul Qadir Luyen Mohammed.
My boss is messaging me via Teams, and he's responding to something I sent him last week. Why are you online? Why is he working? Oh,
is he watching the show?
Boss. No, he's just messaged me saying about some email with somebody in Manila.
Okay,
wild. Oh my god, I should tell him to watch the show.
Welcome, Ahmed.
Welcome, Ahmed.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah. We're here as well, not just Nicole.
Yes. Yeah. I'm wondering why it's aimed at me. So, Jean Diada, this episode is so much fun to dissect. Another reason I like it so much. And yeah. And Jake said, I liked what they did with the Shifu storyline here. Good performance from that kid. Another note, I found the bunker command center scenes a bit too cartoonish. They were a bit too evil for me.
I think that was the whole point.
Yeah,
like over the top. Yeah.
Jed Ted says there's that episode where Worf bounces between realities. He remembers everything. That's TNG's parallels. And I'm not saying that Star Trek didn't do that. I'm just saying that I think that Stargate is more effective in doing it more often. So I'm trying to think of a Stargate episode where everything gets wiped out and no one knows because it happened from an external force. I guess Vegas. Vegas is an alternate reality where nothing counts, except for the inciting incident to the final episode. But they don't.
Yeah.
But so there is an effect there, even. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, thank you, Nicole.
Yes, thank you, everybody. And I'll tell my boss to come join our stream.
Right, exactly.
It's like, why are you messaging me on a Sunday night? Get on the stream. What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
We
Help
ready
further this.
for the light?
I am actually rather excited.
I haven't seen this one a lot, so I'm very interested.
I've seen this one a lot more than Absolute Power, and I could not tell you why. It's just a good time.
It just fell into that pathway. So let's go ahead and bring on the light. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop the timer here so that we can.
Oh, Becca said we haven't agreed so much lately, Nicole. We'll see what happens on the next one. Yeah, we've had some back and forth, Becca. It's okay. We can still be together.
All right. That's what Diana Ross said. Okay. No, we're always going to be together. Never mind. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
The light.
Yes.
In 5, 4, 3. We are the Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Nicole.
Hello, hello.
And Yvie.
Good day.
And we're watching The Light. And if this isn't
dark intro,
this guy could have easily played RoboCop with that chin.
He really could, yes.
He reminds me so much of Peter Weller.
Oh, okay, the flirting here, though. I know something terrible's about to happen, but the flirting.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
So I think you could call this episode the one with the Goa'uld Pleasure Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Bonspiel.
Only Jack could flirt with the word Bonspiel.
Yeah. Look at that smile. Jack's smile.
I know.
Always gets
the
me.
Banter.
Yeah, I think that's why I love it so much. There's a lot of moments in this episode
just
that
on
I think
point.
I love between the SG-1 team. I think that's why I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel as alienating.
Like, to preface what's about to come, so obviously suicide is absolutely no joking matter.
Nope.
Yeah.
But the Gate World reviewer aptly described what's coming up as a head-on collision with a forming wormhole.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of clever.
Yeah. And that he doesn't leave his legs behind is
I found that very interesting.
No,
I didn't wonder why his
doesn't.
legs didn't.
Yeah, considering
stay
how
behind.
low he is. Whoa.
Yeah. So this actor is Link Baker as Lieutenant Dean Barber. So he actually returns for 2 additional appearances, even though he just died quite horribly there. So we see him again as a Jafar rebel Artok in season 6 Allegiance.
That's right.
Whoa, yeah.
And later as a frozen Azurian / replicator in the Atlanta season 3 episode Progeny.
Okay.
Holy frozen bad guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we also meet in this episode Christian I as Air as Lauren.
Yes.
Judy Patootie.
Yeah, this is his only Stargate role. Since then, he's dabbled in like a bit of anime voice acting.
Oh.
And I didn't know this, but he also appeared in Elf alongside Will Ferrell as Froom Froom, one of Santa's elves. So his memorable line in the film is, "If he hasn't figured out he's human by now, he never will." Referring to Buddy's struggle to meet toy-making quotas.
Oh, that's funny.
And
Hello,
as you said
Grey
before
Beard,
this
new
episode, it's won a Leo for best production design of a dramatic series.
Very good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. We've got new people coming in and out. I love this.
So that Greybeard is my father.
It is. Hello, darling.
Hey,
So, welcome, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
This is not an amazing episode, but I hope you enjoy.
So
All
some
right.
dark themes this episode.
Yeah.
I hope you're entertained.
So there's some ambiguity around Barber's correct title. So Hammond calls him a lieutenant, yet the credits list him as a sergeant. So additionally, if you look up Link's IMDb profile, it does credit his character as a lieutenant.
Well, if it's spoken in dialogue, then that trumps credits.
Yeah.
So on the hierarchy of what is canon.
Hey gang, oh, your dad is so sweet.
Oh,
Love it. Everyone give David's dad some love.
oh gosh, yes.
So, this is the only episode of Stargate written by James Phillips. So, I looked into his profile, and in total, he's won like 4 awards and received 22 nominations for like various writing projects. So that's pretty impressive. And this is the only episode this season to be directed by is it Peter Wost or Peter West?
West.
And he has also worked this season behind the scenes a lot as the director of photography. So hasn't been completely absent.
I'm actually quite excited. This episode is really interesting because it's all about like, addiction and like depression and
it deals with some very heavy topics.
Yeah,
So
it's really dark.
That device can be seen in Stronghold when Ball captures Teal'c, except it has claws on it. I think it's Stronghold, if I'm remembering correctly.
Whoa, you just went really far.
Okay.
In the future.
Yeah.
Well, I sold one, so yep.
Ah.
Exactly. So I mean, they've got the molds for it.
What I'm learning is that I should have been old enough to go work at Stargate auction stuff in order to know all sorts of cool fun facts.
If only had more money.
Damn my age. Yeah.
Yeah. So
why wasn't I a Kardashian?
I was going to say before, Daniel mentioned in the briefing room that he was convinced that the palace was abandoned like years ago, and it's like, thousands of years old. So it's kind of a bit of a bold statement, because when we actually get to the planet, it appears deserted, but there's actually no sign to suggest it wasn't left behind recently. So there's like an absence of dust, sand, and debris on the floors, which is kind of strange because it's located right near a beach.
Dust, sand, and what?
Dust, sand, and debris.
Debris?
There's nothing. Yeah, there's no debris, or however you like to pronounce it. Debris. On the floors. Anyway, so either like it's not as old as he thinks it is, or Lauren is like an exceptionally fastidious housekeeper.
I hope so.
That may be
so
his
Daniel's
talent.
Daniel's reaction there, like his constant like bitterness and like eagerness to do all this. This is my reaction.
He's off his meds.
This is my reaction when I try to make macarons and I can't get it to work. When he was yelling at the remote a minute ago. Macarons are the hardest thing to bake.
You and I need to have a little macaron lesson together, because I've figured them out, but they are very tricky.
Oh, it hurts.
Oh boy. Wow.
See, I'm not gonna lie. Somehow this Daniel for me is like better, because you can tell something's real wrong.
Yeah, it's like, did you find a sarcophagus again? You're acting like you're in need of a fix.
Yeah.
See,
still got,
he's
like,
on
some
drugs
of the remnants
here.
of
So this makes sense.
Memory.
Yeah, the only way Daniel can be the worst is when he's on drugs. So I couldn't believe the last episode.
Not when he's destroying Moscow.
No. I could not believe that one bit, Just Daniel selfish and like being nasty to people. That's drugged up Daniel.
Yeah.
Like if he was on drugs last episode, I would have totally gotten it.
Gould drugs.
Yeah, Gould drugs. This was a dark moment. Do you think they had to so when they filmed the shot when Daniel's outside his apartment, like hanging off the building, how did they shoot that? Did they have to tell people?
So he's got I'm sure they did. I'm sure they had people on the ground saying, no, it's just a production, because he's got a harness. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So luckily the front door is open. How convenient is that?
Yeah. So you'll notice that just before the sun was shining and the building was dry. However, when Jack encounters Daniel on the balcony, the ground is wet and the sky is cloudy.
Yep.
That said, I think that the changing weather sort of serves the scene, because it accentuates Daniel's torment and desperation.
The back and forth is very extreme. Yeah.
Also, the exterior building is located in Beatty Street in Vancouver, and I believe it's the 3rd location used to represent Daniel's apartment since season 1.
Yeah.
Lord, this guy moves so much. Someone who's never home.
Although I guess in Fire and Water, he probably didn't lose that apartment intentionally. They did pack it all up thinking he was dead.
Yeah.
Didn't we see it in Forever and a Day?
Yeah, different building.
Oh,
I thought it was different. It looked different.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is a real like dark moment. I remember watching this. Like I didn't really understand the intensity when I was a kid, but now I do.
Yeah. Well, it carries a lot of like significant emotional weight because I think Jack can really empathize quite deeply with Daniel. So he's also experienced despair and self-destructive thoughts following Charlie's death. Yeah. So I think he kind of understands where Daniel's mindset is at on like a more profoundly personal level.
Yep. All he has to do is just let go, and he won't be able to get him. He won't be able to grab him.
This is a really interesting level of despair. So before you could, like in Need, you can really see that Daniel's on drugs. But with this is like such a level of pain that like, I feel like this is how he would have been after Share if Share hadn't have given him that really weird therapy in Forever and a Day.
Yeah.
You know, this is like so believably painful. And I'm not gonna lie, you can really feel like, so Jack's trying to be Jack about it, right? But I really love the way he just approaches him and kind of gives him that moment of comfort. And the way that Daniel kind of reaches back to Jack a little bit, like with his voice. He has this kind of like surprised affection with him. I love seeing these two just doing these things together.
They're so awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack doesn't know how to emotion, but he's trying really hard. So you see this, like, this whole moment
Jack's
here.
used to fixing things, so he's trying to offer his help.
Look at that.
By fixing things.
I just love the way he says Jack, and the moment he realizes he's not.
Yeah. Well, it's like he's almost like snapped out of it for a second.
Yeah. Just grabs him immediately. This like. This for me is one of the most beautiful Jack and Daniel moments. You know, it shows what would have happened if Daniel ever went to like that in these other moments that we didn't get to explore. So, Lockwatcher said also that they used a stunt double up for the high up moment, and then
they did.
Michael Shanks was apparently on a lower floor when they did the other shots.
Oh.
And apparently for the close-up shots, he wasn't over the rail, and he was on the first floor.
Okay.
Jedheads noticed the pots and pans in Daniel's apartment were dangling on those weird metal hook things, and he said, "Does anyone else hang their pans like that?" No, I think it's bizarre.
Many American kitchens are like that.
But yeah, I think it's kind of cool.
Used as if it's either decoration or a cooking utensil.
Yes.
David's dad has said, "How do you say I love you to someone you have shared life-threatening events with?" Yeah, that is kind of the situation, isn't it? It's beautiful.
So this is kind of a really super minor goof that you probably wouldn't get unless you were in this field. But Jack mentions proceeding through the gates in Mop 2, but they apparently are wearing Mop 3 gear.
Are you sure that's just Mop 3, not Mop 4?
Doesn't he say Mop 4 when they go to Cassandra's planet?
Yeah, exactly. And Mop 4 is containment, so you've got the headpiece and everything. So if you say Mop 3, I believe you. But yeah,
rubs that weird yellowy, brown, orangey stuff on his fingies.
Maybe that's Mop 4. Yeah. But it's interesting that Teal'c didn't participate in that, but now he is.
They're just assuming that
Well, maybe because it's a Gould planet, it might have threatening things to Teal'c, so they're being a bit more cautious.
Maybe.
That could be too.
I don't know.
Different steps. We don't often see different sets of steps.
We're seeing Teal'c because we didn't really get Teal'c last episode, and we're not really getting him in this episode. Was he popping out a kid during this time, or was he just
There's just some circumstances where he's just underutilized. So.
Yeah.
He wasn't. But the thing is, wasn't loud and obnoxious about it. If he wasn't. He was perfectly content to be, the stoic statue. I don't feel
the absence of Teal'c that much in Stargate, which I do really love, because I think it's important that like the character, the team feels like a team, and even with the absence of a member of SG-1, it still feels like I'm watching Stargate, and I don't have an issue with it. Like he's there in spirit.
The kid hit himself pretty well with the other SG team. Why is he running all over the place now?
I don't know.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because you would. Yeah, I was going to say, like, do you have any idea how this was produced? Like, how they actually
visual
created
effects?
This effect? Yeah.
So it's a combination of digital and a practical a practical device that's shining off of them there.
Okay. Because it kind of looks like a smoke machine almost.
Yeah, actually.
There wasn't any smoke. But yeah, you've got the element that's actually interacting with them in person,
right?
Or on their physical person. You can see that in the stock shot from the episode that I have pulled for the image here.
Yes,
and then the visual effect in certain shots, like this shot on Carter. There's no CG in that.
No.
Okay, so it would have been on set, but also a little bit of post production.
Bridget McGuire won an Emmy for it, so
it's excellent.
Wow.
I need to ask her actually how they actually pulled it off. If it's like a series of gels with some kind of a chamber.
I couldn't find much information about it, so
yeah.
I like the way he touches it at some point, and it like is all like watery almost.
Yep.
I'm excited.
It is mesmerizing.
It is. I feel so calm and relaxed.
And even the Jaffa are not immune to it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's a ghoul drug den, isn't it? So
That's basically what it is. It has that effect on the brain.
I like when I said drug and then the word in it, like it connects somehow. That's how half the people who do drugs in my area talk. I once had a guy drive up next to me and he was like, hey, you got any drugs? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh, you don't get any in it? And I was like, no, go away. So
in it.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
It's bad. Like, drugs aren't legal in this country to any degree, really. And like, so it's very interesting when I bump into people. It's in Cambridge. It's a student area. So you just smell it on every corner.
Absolutely.
So
they're all smoking.
Are these hallways just a redressing of the SGC set? They just look like they're the same width.
It could be.
I like the ceiling lights that
and
were just
the floor as well look the same, but they just put some paint on it.
It could entirely be.
I find it weird when they're wearing the actual like camouflage.
They don't often wear it.
It weirds me out. I'm like, what's that?
It's not a normal outfit. What was the kid eating?
That's what I was wondering, yeah. How did he keep the batteries charged on his camera?
I don't know.
It's nuclear.
This is just like an interesting time.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, he's kind of an interesting character because in many ways he's very, very childlike, like I'm talking like
no development,
like an adolescent, but he's obviously done some very adult things to keep alive. He's maintained this sort of kind of residence for himself. He's obviously going out and hunting for food. The place looks clean, like. Yeah,
the place looks clean. It's nice cleaning.
He's obviously done some adult things. He's set up an OnlyFans. He's got to keep the lights on somehow.
Yeah. I really, you know what? I think one of the things that connects me with this episode, like other than like mental health and finding those like moments that bring you happiness and the light giving you that short happiness and like not being able to keep that is like definitely a thing that I have with my depression. But also like this kid has such a like tough time and knowing his like isolation and how hard it's been for him mentally for him as well is very interesting. So they didn't do a very good job scouting the area if they didn't find all his stuff,
Well, maybe they did, but they didn't really think much of it. Just thought it was the previous occupants. I don't know.
Well, they have reason to believe that he's gotten them sick, so
they
have to be careful here. They don't know what this kid is doing.
Also, kids and bombs, you never know with this show.
Exactly.
Yep. Or kids
isn't this
bomb
where it's
making
been, like,
instructions.
Isn't this where it's been a few hours where Hammond's like, "Yo, you guys, you've been
it's been an
gone for
hour.
ages."
Yeah, they were in there for a while, and they're not even aware of it. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they should really check Lauren's mouth for any
False teeth.
yeah, false teeth.
Poke his heart, see if there's anything next to it doing bad stuff.
They missed their check-in.
You say hello. Say hello to the camera.
It's funny.
It's kind of interesting because Jack's usually very good with children, and he's very good with Lauren, but he wasn't like that at all with Shifu.
Maybe it's because he kind of knows, but also I feel like Shifu was more Daniel's kid to look after, so maybe they were like, we're going to focus on that dynamic.
What? He looked at his watch. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So SG-5 is not the first team to be lost in action. So previously SG-7 was eliminated by Nearty in Singularity. SG-11 vanished in spirits. SG-10 fell victim to the black hole in a matter of time. And SG-6 was killed by the aliens in Foothold.
We got SG-11 back though.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah. What about the other members of Astra's team in Divide and Conquer?
Yeah. Didn't they all die?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't she like the last one left?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. All right.
So when you kind of look at it, Daniel has been asleep for the best part of 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting paid to sleep.
Yeah. Pretty good deal.
Yeah, pretty good deal. Don't look at it. Don't look at it, honey.
Surely Sam's got to be putting this together. Like, something's going on with this thing.
Yeah. Well, I feel like their brain's telling them that nothing's wrong and that and not letting them put it together because they're just having such a good time. It's like me with my debit card, I'm just like, man, like all that money's going down, but I don't notice because I'm just
having such a good time.
I'm having such a good time.
Well, it's a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Yeah. Spending is a drug.
It really is. Like I definitely have an addiction problem with that, and I say it with all seriousness. That's not even a joke. I've been considering therapy for my spending addiction, so
I don't think that would hurt.
No, I don't think so either. It's actually so bad. I've given my grandmother the money in my bank account and been like, "You only give me a certain amount a week, all right? Let me suffer." So we did that today. I was like, "Here's all my money."
He doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. So there's a goof coming up. So initially he holds this gun in his right hand, but in the next shot, it appears in his left hand before he hands it to Teal'c.
Oh, Teal'c, it's just a toy. It's okay. I love the way that Teal'c is with this kid. I'm absolutely this is one of my favorite things about Teal'c. I think it really warmed me to him.
So in the Gateworld review, Deborah Kraft highlighted that this particular scene she really enjoyed and she praised Christian's acting, but mentioned that she would have liked to have seen more interactions between him, Teal'c, and Daniel.
Yeah.
$101.
He aged so well compared to Braytak, who's 134 now.
He's playing this so straight.
Yeah. So according to Earth calendars and the date this episode aired, that would put Teal'c's birthday around March 14, 1899. So happy belated birthday, Teal'c.
Hey, happy birthday.
Right.
Thursday. Oh, this is so cute. Teal'c is so cute.
I know. When he presses the button again and he's like, oh, the simple pleasures.
It's like in Bane, when he has the water gun fight. It's so cute.
Yes, exactly.
That's right, the water gun.
Or in Point of No Return, this weapon appears to be non-functional.
Oh, that's right.
Why is he so cute?
Salary children have these devices, and Martin Lloyd.
Yeah. Not just kids that play with
Uh-oh.
fake guns.
Here we go.
It's taking its toll on Jack.
Gecko Fest said, I wonder what the death rate is for SG teams per year. Yeah. I mean, if you count in the fact that SG-1 dies like at least once a season, like someone in there dies somewhere along the way, then it's pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. Come on, put this together. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
1 + 1 = 2, guys. There we go.
Yep.
Come on.
He knows.
Jed Ted said, I'm addicted to microtransactions in certain games. Bruh, that is a dark, like, journey.
Oh
to go
my
on.
gosh,
No.
don't ever add your credit card information because that's how it starts.
Yes.
And I think Jack has mentioned getting hooked in the past, so
He has.
I think he's.
Yeah.
I think he can recognize it before
Identify it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's part of the reason he was the first to like say, "Hey, come on, let's get out of here with the light." I think some part of him was recognizing something of what was happening.
Yeah, Daniel was there longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were just plugged into it for almost an hour.
Yeah.
All those years of just saying
Jack
no.
said just saying no. So apparently this is a reference to the US anti-drug campaign of
Dare.
the 80s and 90s.
Yep, dare to keep kids
Designed
off
to
drugs.
prevent children from engaging in illegal drugs by educating them on various refusal methods.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But now we don't tell them no. Now we just let them have the pot.
I love that Daniel's just always Jack's damsel in distress.
Yeah, so it's very bold of Frasier to assume that exposing Daniel to the alien light would not only prevent his death but also revive him.
It's the only thing I could
no
possibly
choice.
think of. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only thing. It's either he dies or you run. So.
Yep.
And Joe Malozzi has said that this scene dispels any doubts about the depth of Jack's feelings for Daniel.
100%. This is what I mean.
Yeah.
This episode, I love it because their love for each other is just so, I don't mean it in a shippy way. Like, I mean it in a friendship way. They're beautiful. Like, I love the way he also put his hand behind his head so he wouldn't hurt his head when he went down as well. Beautiful. I feel like there's this weird, like again, and I've talked about this before, or the last time this happened, the way that the SG-1 men are not, like, afraid to have these intimate moments with each other and really show their love for each other is beautiful.
Yeah.
They're with the light. They're preoccupied.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Transfixed.
go in.
Yeah.
So, well, no, we actually found out he does, but he didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's not allowed to go into the room.
Lockwatcher, when Teal'c was born, so was the vacuum cleaner, 1899. Thank you, Lockwatcher.
Oh, cool.
That is a very cool fact. God, there's so much touching. Love it. Are they going to fight outside in a minute as well?
They do, yeah.
Yeah. They
Very
start
exciting.
walking away from the facility or the castle. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets really
drugs start
sassy.
to wear
Yep.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great. That's my favorite scene from this episode.
Yep.
So, David's dad, you still here? How's the episode going for you?
He's a huge Terrell Rothery fan. He's always loved The Small Woman.
So he really loves this episode.
Aww.
And I'm referencing Daniel's line from
The
Lifeboat.
Napoleon Powermonger.
Yep.
Yeah, the small
Someone
woman,
gets
yeah.
the small woman and tell her that whatever she has given me isn't good enough. It's not working.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a great line. So, I'll wait till it comes up. I was getting ahead of myself.
All right, we're starting to put it. Come on, put it together.
Yeah.
Feel free to get ahead of yourself, though, We might talk over you in a minute. Who knows? Honey.
I'm
Don't you
really
start acting
surprised
like
that
it's
she's
not
not
doing
even
anything.
considering it.
Maybe it's the
Yeah.
drugs.
You
Maybe
think
she's
so?
so into it. She's like, oh, no, couldn't be. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Problem is, if you stay in there too long, you die from malnutrition.
So Carter just questioned how Daniel recovered by arriving on the planet, and someone on Reddit just said plot armor.
Here's the thing with TV shows, I think I can accept plot armor and I can I'm way more on board with it. But when I'm reading a book, I'm like, get out of here, plot armor. Like, you know, I think the difference is a television show is like a different level of enjoyment. Like the plot armor's kind of more necessary. Oh, this is the cool effect when you put this hand in there in a minute. I'm so excited to see it. Do it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the gate effect.
It is cool how it responds.
In books.
Don't look at it.
Yeah.
Don't look at it. It's like a siren.
Yeah.
Don't
very much so.
Yeah. Don't listen to her sing.
Good.
Yeah, is it the Weeping Angels?
God.
In Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, don't look away.
Oh, that's Don't Look Away.
Jeez,
yeah, you're right.
Look
it's
at
the opposite. It's the opposite.
So the pedestal, I think. Let me have a look at it here.
Oh, David, your dad is so cute. Intend to watch the series with my son from start to finish.
That would be nice.
Do it. Oh, Daniel's so cute. Yeah.
Glasses.
Yeah, can you guys send like, I don't know, an Xbox? Xbox wasn't out yet, a PlayStation.
The Xbox wasn't out in 2000?
I think it came out late 2000 or early 2001. I think it debuted with Halo 1, and I think it was 2001. I'm not entirely sure. Ted, feel free to correct me.
Look at this. This is bad.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, he found the off switch.
Yeah.
He done did it.
But they still have to stay around it for a while, right?
Yeah, like the vibes.
Yeah.
There's one other thing that needs to be deactivated, I think, in the actual pedestal itself.
Oh, because they left the lights. The lights are off, but there's still that the air. There's still something.
Yes,
in the air.
There is still something in the air.
I can feel it calling in the air. It's just Phil Collins.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The episode of Modern Times Now would have been called The Cell Phone. With people in my daily life that cannot be pulled away from their devices.
It is
the
really
same
interesting.
exact drug.
The way that we sit here and we're like, drugs are addictive. Yep. They are bad. But like, the government, every government will just give stuff that's bad. You know,
bread and circuses.
Mm.
Oh boy, here we go.
He's smiling so much, kid. You got to be honest,
yeah,
man.
He's happy that they're there.
Yeah. They're dead. Uh-huh. Don't get so antsy, my guy.
He's terrified.
He's just a kid. Yeah, he's just a kid. I was right. Original Xbox came out in 2001.
Really? Okay.
Season 5 of SG-1. I know my stuff. Jacob said this episode is a metaphor for the whole Stargate. Once we start watching it, we can stop without going wacko.
I love that shot. That is so cool.
Yeah. Oh, come on, guys. Fight. Kiss.
It's coming.
Oh, come on.
That's a reference.
No, kissing is that's not.
It's a silly reference.
It's not relevant.
May they rest in peace.
It's a nice beach.
It looks like a nasty beach. Oh,
I was like, that looks
dip
awful.
My toes. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, God.
Ooh.
God, love it.
I half expected her to hit him.
Yeah.
When he grabbed her like that.
Bit of Starbuck and Apollo. Let's go. I really also like the way that they were like, oh, you think I'm gonna keep that up forever? It's like, oh yeah, what now kind of thing. And it's very like, yeah, so if you guys are stuck here forever, you're gonna be a couple. Like, you're gonna drop all the sirs and colonels. And then he's like, yeah, it's the way it is. And it's like, ooh, bit of underlying jokes. Oh, this is so cute. He's gonna take a photo of Daniel. Oh, it's so adorable. I can't. Oh, this is so sweet. I feel like Daniel's not great with kids. Like, he's always a bit awkward, you know, except for that one girl in season 7.
Daniel's so awkward.
Yeah, look.
He's just trying to work.
Jacob just said Jack does not wear that hat as good as Daniel. That floppy cap.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, you're happy we're here.
Daniel's got a bit of a shadow growing. I love bearded Daniel.
Yeah, because they've presumably been there for a little while. So
yeah.
And he was, you know, he was basically comatose for several days. So
yeah, he hasn't had time to shave.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we found his dead parents outside. Don't worry about it. Had a fight. Nearly made out, you know, no biggie.
Headache.
Because you're here, darling.
And so am I.
So the light is off, but another part of it is still on, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they've got to dial that down.
Yeah. Something else is like pulsing.
So why isn't Lauren like crazy on the drugs?
But because he hasn't been like he didn't. I don't think he ever properly engaged with the light for it to ever trigger him.
Yeah, but it's not just the light.
Yeah. No, I think Frasier said before that he's as addicted as the rest of them.
So he's just adapted.
No,
to
you're
it.
right.
But he'd have a much longer withdrawal period.
Potentially. I'm sure they sent over a PlayStation and like different people to watch over him. You know.
The light is the entertainment. Yeah.
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 Yep.
There we go.
It's in the air. Cue Phil Collins.
Yeah, I was going to say, Phil Collins was right. There was something in the air tonight. So in the
that's something really funny. Yvie, go first.
I was going to say, in the audio commentary, it's mentioned that Lauren is supposed to be 15 years of age, but the actor is actually 23 when he plays his character.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, he's not a kid. I mean, relatively.
He just has a youthful face.
Yeah. He's only 3 years younger than me here. So, Lockwatcher just said when Teal'c was 10 years old, on Earth, the paper shredder was being invented. Brilliant. Yo, Jack, chill out, my guy. Oh, my goodness. David's dad just said, listening to your comments as much as I'm watching means I'm missing important crap. I wish I was as immersed in it as you all. That's the thing. This is a rewatch kind of place to be. You know? Just start watching Stargate with David. You'll catch up in no time. And then, look, we'll be here,
So this center column was also, I believe, used in Sight Unseen.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say that. Ugh.
And then the pedestal that he retracted was the base of the gold vat.
I'm going to quote Jeff Golker.
In the Mardi Gras episode. So, Summit Last Stand. Go ahead.
I wish I could sight unseen that episode.
Jeff said, I wish I could sight unseen.
Yeah. That made me laugh a lot. I was like, that was an Yvie level bad joke. Love it. So
I'm glad I have a reputation.
I was going through your memes today, Faye. I was showing her all your stuff, and I was like, look how beautifully terrible these jokes are, but I don't know how she does it. They're all so punny. So
One pun at a time.
The way you have them queued up
Yes.
is beautiful as well.
Jack's like, you did?
This kid needs like major therapy. Also, I'm not gonna lie, this is like, I think this is one of like the stronger guest appearances on this show.
Yeah, he doesn't get a whole lot of credit.
No, this actor, I think, did a phenomenal job of like a child's pain, and I think it's pretty hard to do.
He's been alone for at least like 7-8 years.
Yeah,
So...
yeah, and he's doing a great job.
Tears glistening on his face.
I just want to give this kid a hug and a PlayStation.
Get him addicted to something else.
Nintendo?
Yeah. Oh.
And they died.
Maybe he can move to Earth and become a photographer.
Yeah.
Work on Wormhole Extreme.
Oh, that sounds like a really cute fan fiction story.
Yeah. Oh.
And he killed him.
He was trying to help. I want to cry just watching this performance.
Yeah.
Honestly, this hurts.
So he had to have turned it back on.
It was too late though, wasn't it?
He did turn it back on.
I mean, how was he supposed to know though about the guilt?
Yeah.
Oh, they drowned themselves.
It was too late. They did. They just walked into the water.
I forgot that.
Yeah. I like this episode because it's how like twisted it is. Yeah. Yeah, you didn't know better. Got the therapy. Oh my goodness. This poor guy.
I am reminded of the scene from Pay It Forward where Haley Osment's pouring out all the booze into the sink. And Helen Hunt's like trying to scrounge around the house for where she left the extra bottle. She left it in the ceiling lamp.
Damn.
I've only seen that movie once. It's too
hard.
devastating to watch multiple times.
Yeah. Settings. I'm sad that he settings.
I'm sad that he got to have little cute moments with like everybody except Sam.
Yep.
Like I wish Sam and him got some moments.
Yep.
We're a bit smarter than your parents, respectfully, my kid. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
So do you guys think that this ending is like a little bit too easy? Like the Gateworld reviewer calls the ending contrived, too easy, and too neatly packaged.
I mean, they do wrap it up pretty quickly.
I kind of agree. Yeah,
they have to wrap it up pretty quick, but I think they got the message across. But also, and I'm going to reference my depression again. When I come off my meds, I have to whittle it down slowly over time, you know, and you can't just come off that stuff cold turkey.
Oh no, of course.
And you know, it's like I don't know. I think it's an important conversation, and I like the way that the ending is realistic of the drug addiction. You know,
yeah,
it is a bit fast and a bit much for obviously an episode of television, but Stargate is known for doing that. You know, it has to wrap things up fast.
So Lauren would be the third alien kid living on Earth, in addition to Cassandra and Nyan, although he was a little bit older.
Nyan's not a kid, yeah.
So, no, not really. So Gateworld questioned whether the SGC should consider opening an alien halfway house.
And all the... go ahead.
Yeah, so Joseph Malozzi noted that season 4 had its highlights with episodes like Entity and Exodus, but also some that didn't quite measure up, with this episode being particularly underwhelming. And his sort of tepid review was also echoed by Gateworld's Deborah Kraft, who noted that the episode tugged at the audience's emotions but was a bit light on plot, pun intended.
I'm perfectly okay with that. Do that to me more, Stargate. Do that to me more.
You want light on plot?
I want heavy on the emotions.
Oh,
You know,
I see what you're
if the plot has to suffer a little bit to focus on the emotions, I'm okay with it, because sometimes the plot is such a focus that they have to put the characters' emotions in a box on the side because they don't have time to explore it. So, yeah, I enjoyed this episode. Good times.
Thanks for hanging out.
So I just want to jump in and say, based on what was said last week, is that we had an approach to this week of very like, you know what? It's nothing. You know,
can you spell that?
You are a bunch of haters. It's like in Monty Python, where it's like where he's reading the thing and the monster of and then he like died while writing it.
Go back to your point.
Yeah, my point is, we seem to come into these episodes thinking that kind of attitude, but they're not, like, nothing's going to be as bad as some of the times we had in season 2. Even a dip in season 4 is nothing compared to that. And I felt like you guys were less excited for the light than you were for absolute power, and now I'm wondering
what gave
how
you that impression.
Just the impression that I got. So, and I want to know what you guys think now based on that. So, like, 'cause I feel like we had a lot of good conversations this episode as well as last episode, and I just want to see how they measure up to each other on two less good episodes.
I haven't gone first in a little bit.
You go
David, you go last a lot. Yeah.
So the theme is, pretty obvious. It's talking about, things that all of us have to deal with in one form or another, be it, alcohol, drugs, food, food, me personally. That's my
happiness.
Big one. Yeah. I mean, things that release oxytocin and dopamine in the brain. But it's a pretty on the nose episode as well. I think the visual effects are stellar. I think the acting's okay. It's got a charming guest star, and but in like the pantheon of Stargate, I'm not particularly crazy about it. It's solid, and I'm glad that they have an episode about addiction. But at the same time, I think that there were other ways that it could have been pulled off better. I'm giving it a 2.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna give that like a 3, a 2. What did David
spank me, Rosie?
Anthony, yeah, naughty. Anthony, what did David give Bane? I want to know that, like, comparatively. I'm very curious because that's like my most hated episode.
I don't think I gave it a 1.
Yeah.
I don't think you did, which is why I'm disturbed. So I feel like this is better than Bane. So that's very interesting.
Yeah. We need to stop referencing Anthony and actually go and look at Anthony's spreadsheet.
I can't. My phone can only do so much, and I'm watching the stream.
Yvie, go ahead.
Thank you, Anthony.
I was gonna say that I think I actually prefer Bane, to be honest.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
I was also going to give this a 2 because
what is going
I'm not
on?
a fan of this episode at all, and it's one that I always skip.
Anthony, can we bring
Really?
a free candle as well, please, my dear? Thank you.
But I do to a certain extent appreciate like the issues that it brought up. Like I did do some research into this episode, and I was reading some comments on Reddit, and there was like an entire thread where people were praising this episode, and they sort of spoke about its sensitive and thoughtful exploration of very like serious issues, like mental health, addiction, and there was some other people who like appreciated its like profound commentary on the human condition through the medium of science fiction. So like I do recognize that, but I just think it could have been assembled like a little bit better. I think even Need dealt with addiction a lot better than this episode did.
Well, Need also had the benefit of using established mythology to move its story forward, putting Daniel in a situation, taking advantage of an existing prop, and giving an added explanation as to why the Goa'uld are the way they are. This episode doesn't have that. The advantage of this episode is that it takes us into new territory with with more Goa'uld technology that we have not seen, with another aspect of their society that's not just bent on global galactic domination, but also hedonism. but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be like, yay! So,
Yeah.
Nicole?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at what Anthony
Oh,
said.
what's
Anthony
Yvie?
said
What's
that,
your number?
Oh yeah,
Two.
two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't enjoy
Anthony
this
says
episode.
that David gave Bane a 2.
Oh, well, go me.
And Anthony said that for Brief Candle, because I asked very briefly, the Evie and David, you both gave it a 1, and I gave it a 5. This is actually a very interesting episode where I'm actually seeing, I'm not going to say them yet, but I'm seeing a lot of the ratings come in, and they're actually a lot higher than what you guys are putting. I think the audience is
I'm
different.
glad to hear it. I dread the day
Yeah,
when
it's
everyone
fine.
on this planet
Everyone agrees.
with
Yeah,
me.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love the episode. I've always loved it since I was a kid. I don't really know why. I think I've always had issues with my
All
mental
the
health
bright,
since I was a
sparkling
child.
colors.
No, imagine that.
Maybe you think Lauren's hot.
No, it was well, I don't know. I think I really just, you know what? I think I really enjoyed seeing Teal'c being so sweet. I hadn't seen like
There's
Bane
some
at the
great
time,
individual scenes in this episode.
that's the thing.
Sure.
I
Carter
think
doesn't get one, but yeah.
No,
No.
but I think that I love seeing the beautiful relationship between Jack and Daniel, just seeing their real love for each other.
Yeah.
I love seeing the horrible conversations on suicide. Hope anybody who's suffering with that is looking after themselves and able to get the help they need. Obviously this job is tough, and you get into bad episodes, and people died in this episode, and it's really sad. I think the episode, much like many other Stargate episodes, has to wrap things up neatly in a bottle. They can't waste time
44
doing
minutes.
two-parters. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't do what we want them to do. And for me, this episode delivered 100% on, well, I'm going to say 75% on the characters, because Samantha doesn't really get as much stuff, while the other three got
She
their
exposits.
shining moments. Yes,
Yeah.
she didn't do much. She got to yell a bit though, so that was nice. So maybe 80%.
She does have a good scene
character
with Jack. She does.
Yeah,
She does,
and,
yeah.
and obviously the kid, Lauren, is it Lauren? He's
Lauren,
he's
yeah.
adorable. His camera and his little fake gun. Yeah, I for me this episode, Daniel's moment on the balcony was just so messed up. Yeah, I think that this is the kind of stuff that I wish Stargate did just a little bit more, and it's why I appreciated like Stargate Universe, and I appreciate Stargate SG-1 reminding us that mental health is so important, because in a lot of episodes of Stargate, because they're 44 minutes, we just have to brush off the fact that life and death situations are happening, or that they all just died in like the Nox, and then they wake up and they're like, oh,
Right, yeah. I get where you're
happened.
coming from, because they don't really deal with it. Like, you just assume
never
that they
do.
deal with it off screen.
Yeah,
But
and
this is putting it sort of more at the forefront. So
yeah, for like the first
Yeah.
time in like 4 seasons. So
And you got to
like,
give him
like
that.
fully.
That's a bold choice to go with.
Yeah.
It's a dark choice.
A
It's
dark
good.
episode. Yeah, and Stargate does that every now and then.
And I love when every now and then when it goes dark, I love it. So I'm probably going to give this a 6.
Okay.
Because I think it's great. It's one I never skip. I skip Absolute Power. I don't skip this one.
I
when
gave
rewatch.
Absolute Power the rating that I did because of its darkness. So I can't.
Yeah,
and
for me,
I enjoy Dark Daniel.
I didn't appreciate Dark Daniel, because to me it wasn't his character. While with this one, when Daniel went dark, it was for me, it was a darkness that I could understand.
I think I enjoyed it because it was so far removed from Daniel's usual character, but I guess I'm kind of fascinated by the way the human mind works.
Oh yeah,
that's why I enjoy watching like murder mysteries and unsolved crimes and things like that, because I'm kind of intrigued by how different people think. So I think that's why I prefer Absolute Power, because it was kind of an interesting dive into someone's psyche.
So I similarly, so I don't like murder mysteries and stuff, because I don't like seeing humanity at that level of darkness. My nan and Peta are obsessed with it. It's all they watch together every night. They're like, oh, let's watch a new.
I can't
They
do it
watch
every
it
night.
together.
Yeah, they love watching murder mysteries. They're like, my mum gets in on it as well, and I'm
gosh.
like, guys, can you stop? Like, remember, these are evil people, because they're like, oh wow, this guy's a genius. I'm like, evil.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Evil genius.
Yeah. For me, my favorite thing about humanity is how we constantly struggle with the balance of having to stay happy and positive despite the, excuse my French, shit we have to go through as people. And life is suffering, right? I feel
Life is
like
suffering.
for Absolute Power, Daniel went just straight evil, and to me that was just his evilness just felt so one-dimensional to me. I did not feel it was well layered, because obviously they had to rush it and they had to do it.
Because he was a Gould. He
Yes,
had been
exactly.
supplanted with
Exactly.
the emotional capacity of a
And
Gould.
Gould are often not very nuanced. They are just bad
Correct.
guys that you want to kill.
That's right.
Exactly.
While-
As soon as Shifu
Yeah.
hit him, he flipped
Yeah.
a switch.
Yeah.
So
And that's why I didn't enjoy it as much,
Yeah.
like I like the nuances of the alternate realities where things are slightly changed and twisted. I enjoyed seeing Daniel finally succumb to some of the depression and dark thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it as in I'm happy to see that be happening. I enjoy it in that, like, Battlestar Galactica, one of my favorite things is watching those people not kill themselves
you
every
want to talk
episode.
about a dark show. Yeah.
So,
in the scheme
yeah.
of things.
Yeah, it's such a twisted series, and Battlestar Galactica really gets to the core of what it means to be humans fighting, and why are we fighting to be us, and like what is it that Edward James almost says is why do we as a species think that we get to play God and do what we want, and that whole thing, and I just
Humanity never asked itself whether it deserved to survive.
yeah
Maybe
so,
it don't.
Yeah.
and and it's one of my that's what made me go,
It's not enough to
Galactica
survive.
is
You have to be
amazing.
worthy of survival.
Exactly. And that is why this episode, it just hits me in a way where I'm just like, oh wow. And it makes me think I'm not alone. People get depressed that aren't me. So sorry, I went on a whole thing explaining why my emotional connection is so strong.
Nicole, can you give us the rundown?
Yeah, so Nick Nar says 6. Gene Diada said this episode leaves room for a lot of fanfic to fill in the story. Gecko Fett said 6 out of 7. Love the acting. The SFX are great. Ending was a bit rushed, but that can't be helped, I guess. Mac Bolan's Conscience 4. Lockwatcher gave this a 6. Strong acting, great visual effects, and found out when Teal'c turned 20, the pop-up toaster was invented on planet Earth. Lockwatcher, the commitment.
These
to the
are
bit.
good. These are really
Anthony said, I'll give this a 4. Jacob said 5 chevrons. A lot of great explanations here as well. I love this. A fun mystery addiction episode we really needed after need. Haha. Great character moments. The downside is that it took them far too long to figure it out, and therefore an almost abrupt ending. Yes. Lockwatcher said, David, Nicole, Yvie. Guess we will have to have Yvie try cherry pie at some point.
Yes.
Gene Diada, I'm going 7. The emotional acting is just top notch, even if the plot may only be level 6 and Daniel and PJs. Jed Ted says 6 chevrons. Shimmering Victoria says 6. Strong visuals, music, acting, message, plus me being the Janet fan I am. I love the scene between her and Jack in the infirmary. Me too. Gene Diada said, wow, I never expected such a low score. Lockwatcher said, I thought Nicole was going to throw up. And David's dad went, 2? This is the first time I decided to join y'all.
Yeah, I felt bad. He picked this one. So
Yeah.
that's why I said the way I responded when he showed up is like, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I mean, if you want to show up for this one, all right.
Yeah, you'll have to give him the heads up on a better episode.
Ask me when you want to come on for a good one. I'll tell you some good times.
And there's some more stuff coming through here. So we got Jacob. The beginning was great. Jack Daniel balcony scene is first class, and so is Jack Lauren's conversation in the end. Teal'c and Lauren also had a great moment. David, I assume you're watching the subtitles rather than listening to the episodes. Yes, he is.
Yes.
Poor guy. Between this episode, so Gene Diaz says between this episode and Absolute Power and Need, Daniel really needs to stay away from any addictive substances. It's late, I'm tired, sorry guys. Becca, 5. It's a good standalone episode. I can see how it could be improved, but I still enjoy it. Yes, Becca. So close. And Jacob said, I agree with David though. It's a bit on the nose, but I do personally love rewatching this one. My SG-1 dirty pleasure. Also, David, your review, what a plot twist, giving it a 2. Yeah, people are shocked. It's very interesting to see the response.
Good.
And Jacob said the toy gun is my dream birthday gift. And Jacob said this is an unusual range so far with 2s to 7s. And what's funny is, like, I think the entire chat has gone 4 or above, and you guys are the ones that dropped below the average. The 3.5. You know, we can't do 3.5, no half chevrons, but like 3 to 4.
I don't mind standing alone.
No, it's fine. It's very interesting that you two are standing alone this episode. I'm actually very shocked that the audience isn't there's no other lower ones. Humanity is very fascinating. And of course, anybody who's watching, anybody who's watching later, who isn't live, please leave your ratings if you come and watch us, because we want to see if there are any 1s, 2s.
Yeah, place them in the comments. I know that there are some people who they join us later and they Definitely put it in
And
the
David's
comments.
wonderful father. Please feel free to rate it, or rate our commentary. Since
1
you
out
don't
of
know,
7.
you know,
Or
1 through
1 to
7.
7. Yeah, 7 is the highest. So
Yeah,
And
whole
if you feel
numbers
like
only.
you need to rewatch this episode, then please do and get back to us and put it in the chat, or tell David and he'll tell us next time. But yeah, I've had like, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I came in going, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this week. Loved it. I've had a great time.
there you
So,
go. There you go.
It's
Bodes
always
well for
better
some
with
of
friends.
the pairs of episodes that are coming where it's going to be like, okay,
Yeah.
let's sit down and get through it.
I'm not excited about next week. Well, not next week, because we're taking next week off, aren't we?
We're taking a couple of weeks off.
Yeah,
Are
we're
we
taking
off
this
next
loop
week?
off.
Yes,
It's the 24th, isn't it?
it's 3 weeks we're having off.
It's 3 weeks.
Mm.
Let me double check this.
Because I've got my
already.
mum's birthday next week, the following
Happy
week's Easter, and then
birthday.
David's going to New York the week after that.
Yeah.
Mrs. Edwards.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Did I get it
Prodigy
right?
and Entity
Yeah,
April 14th.
good job.
Double Jeopardy and Exodus on April 21st. And then we'll have our midweek movie, and we have to discuss what that is.
We do. I think
David's
we
dad
should
has
watch
said-
something that
Oh.
Nicole hasn't seen.
Okay.
We did talk about this. I think we kind of agreed on something, but I don't know.
Did
what
you
we
see
agreed
Inner
on.
Space?
Don't know.
I wanted to watch Inner Space.
Has Nicole seen it?
I don't think
I've not.
Nicole's seen it.
Okay,
No.
then that would probably be the one to watch. I'm
I
not
think we
crazy
did-
about it, but it's my turn to,
Yeah,
to watch someone else's favorite. So.
We agreed on some
it's great.
some episodes ago on what movie we should watch at some point.
Yeah,
And I think it
I
was
also
one
have
aimed
another
at one
suggestion,
that Yvie has
but
seen,
yeah.
but you haven't, David, or I've seen, but
What's
I
the
don't
other
know, something.
suggestion, Yvie?
I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to.
okay.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And David's dad said, "I'll rate later when I feel more educated about the show." Please
That's
do.
the thing.
We-
Yeah, he's
we
not.
wanna
He
add it
doesn't
in.
have a good vocabulary on Stargate to
That's
give it any
absolutely
rating.
fine, but it'd be
Okay.
interesting for him to judge it based on not knowing much.
Right.
So
I mean, the fact that he was surprised that I gave it a 2 just says it all. So
yeah.
because you watch it on its face and it's like, this is a good show. You're giving it 2 out of 7. What's wrong with you?
There's
So
some stinkers,
the
you know?
thing
Yeah.
is context. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Gecko Fett said we're back on the 14th of April, apparently,
yes, we are.
based on the
Yes.
math. And Lockwatcher
Yep.
said happy birthday, Evie's mum. So
Oh, thanks, guys.
Happy birthday, Evie's mom.
Yeah, the big 70. She hasn't been
Wow.
well. She's been in
Horizon.
hospital again this week.
Oh.
So
Oh my goodness.
hopefully she'll be feeling up to celebrating next week.
Absolutely.
We've got a few sneaky things planned.
Get us some cake.
You sneaky thing.
Also, the movie I was thinking of was Safety Not Guaranteed. I don't know if either of you have
I've
seen
not
it.
seen
I
it.
have not.
Oh,
Good.
okay. I've only seen
Evie
it once. It's
can
got
bully
Aubrey
us for
Plaza in
once.
it.
Excellent.
Safety
Excellent.
not guaranteed.
Lockwatcher said Event Horizon, and Anthony said Inner Space was next. Anthony,
Event
you got
Horizon is excellent, but I think we've done enough
Stellar
horror
memory.
for the first little bit here.
I'm not great with horror, so it would have to be very
the fact that
light on the horror.
Evie got 2 Alien films is very impressive.
Okay,
Yes.
I am wrong. I have watched Safety Not Guaranteed, and it was great.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
It's
too.
great. Yeah.
I'm an itty bitty baby that hasn't seen all the stuff, so I just
That's
need
made
to
in
just...
2012,
Watched
so
Alien.
it's a recent one.
Yeah, I was also only like 14 when that came out. So you
Safety
think
Not
I wanted to go
Guaranteed
watch
is
that?
it's a comedy. It's visual effects light, so it is tangentially sci-fi.
Yes.
I wouldn't classify it as sci-fi.
Yeah.
But
One of
it's
the
Well,
things
great.
it's I guess it's similar to Inner Space. That's technically sci-fi,
Oh, that's
but
definitely sci-fi.
but
because
yeah,
you're-
I
you're-
think we
that-
should do
the
maybe
vehicle-
Inner Space.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
at the end a sci-fi element to it in Safety Not Guaranteed, but I mean, maybe I need to keep my mouth shut. So,
I'm happy to do one. I'm happy to do some that I haven't seen. We did
Yeah.
also talk once, David, that we need you to get the sound hooked up because at some point we need to watch Oblivion because that's one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time, and you haven't seen it. And the music, yeah, Tom Cruise. No,
the one with
don't
Tom
look it up.
Cruise?
Don't look it up. You'll see spoilers. It's
oh yes,
apparent.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't
Then-
seen it,
then
but
it's
I think we
easy,
need to
but
see
we-
one
I
that
only watched
Nicole
it in the
hasn't
theater.
seen.
It was good. So
The
Yes.
sound, the music is so beautiful. It
are you
makes
still
me
an
cry.
effective team? Is that the one?
Oh yes,
Okay, got it.
Oh.
I've seen it.
it's so beautiful. It's such a great
Yeah.
quote.
The-
Beautiful
the,
film.
The Great Big Pyramid in space. Yeah, it's really cool.
The Tet, yeah, very cool,
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. Also, I think Evie and I were trying to find like Pride and Prejudice alternative, like anything Jane Austen, like mixed with sci-fi. So I'm on the
I'm
hunt.
sure it exists.
Yeah, I mean,
It's got
there's
to
Pride and Prejudice
exist.
zombies, and that's as close as I've gotten in my research. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
Mr. Darcy.
literally, I want something for
Twist.
Evie and I.
Mr.
that's
Darcy
like
is actually an alien.
yeah, Regency era
Oh,
sci-fi
man.
is the vibe I'm on the hunt for. So.
All right.
Okay.
Guys, this has been a good time. I'm going to miss you guys, but I'm also, say enjoy the break. We'll be back in, what is it, 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
And the clocks will
Yeah.
have changed for the
4
UK,
weeks.
so it's going to be 9
4 weeks,
p.m.
technically
again.
4 weeks.
Yes,
3 weeks
so-
off.
We're back
We'll be back
for
on
the
the 4th
UK.
week. Yeah.
So you will be, okay, yes. Just let me know, Nicole, if you're going to be earlier or later. So
I'm later, 9 p.m.
Oh, good.
So
Lucky
same
you.
time for everybody, but 9 p.m. for me.
All
Yeah.
right. Appreciate y'all turning in, everyone. We're going to get rolling here.
Thank you.
And,
Thanks, guys. Please leave a like, subscribe, tell your friends. We appreciate you. We love you.
Please like us if you liked
Thank
it.
you.
But only
Yeah.
if you liked it. But if you're here
Yeah,
at
if you
this
dislike
point,
us-
you liked it. Give
No.
us a like. So, thanks so much for your time. We will
Thanks,
see
guys.
you soon. Bye now.
Bye, David's dad.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.